Welcome, welcome. It's Tips Tuesday. I'm Laura Rubenstein here with the awesome Tessa Ashford. Hi, Tessa.
Oh, hi.
Well, today, what are we talking about today? We are talking about hashtags,
Hashtag.
hashtags, hashtags.
Right?
I get
It's
so
fun.
many questions about hashtags as a marketer, as a consultant. Even, it seems like it's a very diverse and changing world today. I mean, we just heard that Facebook is putting a priority on hashtags, whereas you'll read articles online right now saying, don't bother with hashtags on Facebook. Now, of course, you don't want to use as many as you use on Instagram,
Right.
but, there are hashtags to be used on Facebook now because they are starting to make them more a priority. Why? Why do you think that's so, Tess?
I think that they're trying to keep up with all the other social media outlets. So,
Don't you see the trend happening with all
yes,
these different
Insta feeds, TikTok. I know, right?
stories came out after Snapchat, Reels came out after TikTok. Instagram is really trying to like tread water here
It's true. It's true.
and stay at the top, and they're doing all right. So let's talk about hashtags because, Instagram really put hashtags on the map. I mean, Twitter was the first to use them and people were using them. But then when Instagram came out with the maximum of 30, which is a lot, right? 30 hashtags, it was like, oh my gosh. Now let's go. Everyone was speaking hashtags.
Yeah.
Hashtag got this. Hashtag LOL. I don't even know what they're using, but everything was like, we added that to our lingo, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was conversational.
Yeah. So let's back up and why don't we talk a little bit about what's a hashtag? In case you don't know, people use the word tag and hashtag interchangeably, but they're actually two different words in practice. When you
Mhm.
tag somebody, you're tagging a username. You're
A
using their
profile.
a
Mhm.
profile exactly, and it became and you're using the @ sign. When you're hashtagging, you're using the hash sign or that pound sign,
Pound.
you know, or the number sign. Some people call it. It's whatever you want to call it, but when you precede a word or a phrase without any spaces in it, that is called the hashtag. And it makes that word, when you have that hash in front of it, clickable. And where does it go? It goes to a feed of all the posts in that network with that using that hashtag. So it's a sorting feature, really, right?
It is, but it is not as reliable as you would think. You would think just adding this hashtag, it's going to definitely show. That's not the case for the feed. It doesn't mean that you're definitely 100% going to show. The feed shows what it thinks is relevant to the user. So I have people that are like, I hashtagged it. Why is it not showing? Why am I not on this page? I'm like, yeah, they decide if they're going to put you up there or not, if you're relevant or not. And so you can get filtered out if you have a hashtag there. But if you're using it consistently and you're showing the value of that hashtag, then it shows up.
Yeah, and we have a hashtag strategy for you, and you are more likely to show up when people click on a feed and you happen to have built that credibility with that hashtag, right?
Right.
So you want to start using them as a regular practice. So let's talk about um, how many hashtags to use and when to use them and where to find them. So first, on Instagram in particular, you can use 30. You're allowed 30. I recommend using at least 15. So and be strategic about the ones you use. There are hashtags there are so many common hashtags that are above 1 million. Those are the ones, Tessa, you're talking about that you are unlikely to be found in a feed if you don't have a lot of likes on them. Because it's kind of a sorting and prioritization. So okay,
Mhm.
everybody's using the hashtag quotes or gratitude, and you have one like and somebody has 1,700 likes. Guess who's going to show up at the top?
Right.
The more
Exactly.
popular. It's not exactly linear like that. I don't know the exact
Algorithm.
right, but it kind of follows that. And
Yep.
who knows what the actual calculations for that algorithm is to make you show up. But if you use 5 ultra high and somebody clicks on one of your niche, then they might, or on an ultra high and they find you by chance, they'll see your niche, they click on your niche. I mean, it's all kind of like creating this web of connections back to your post.
Right.
And that's what I love about them. Do you want to say anything else about the how
I
many hashtags and why use hashtags?
Yeah, well, I think I agree. I don't use the full 30 because it becomes just when too much of your post is hashtags and there's not a lot of value, then to me, you're defeating the purpose. You have to put value into these posts for people to care that land on it. If all you have is hashtags, then the person comes to you, they're not going to understand what you do or why. So I feel like if you're going to include them, then make a good meaty post in there.
And make sure they're all relevant, right? They're all
Yeah.
relevant to the post and your brand. And that's why I offer this strategy of 5 ultra high, 5 moderate, and 5 niche. And what is a niche? And thanks for the love, Niraj. Thank you. So the why do it this way? What are niche hashtags? They're ones you make up for your brand, really.
Right.
They are ones that are not really being used for anywhere else. So if you have, it could be hashtag transform today, like my company name, right? So
we did one for a contest for Sofally with a sofa contest. So we created it specifically for the contest. People were sharing and pushing it out. So it really worked well for the contest. All the images that people were posting of photos of their old couches were coming through on that. So it was really fun to create it, but we had to pick one. It was difficult to find one that a lot of people weren't on yet. And you can't control a hashtag. So if you put your brand out there and you start hashtagging it, anybody can hashtag, even your competitors. Oh, I lost you.
It's crazy, right? So just wanted to reiterate that where do you see the amount of hashtags? It's underneath. You can see on the right-hand side here, when you start searching, and this is in Instagram in particular, it's underneath when you start searching for, like I typed in the word coaching, and then it says 13.4 million posts, and that was as of a couple of weeks ago. So you can see in Instagram the amount here. That's probably the easiest networks to do it on. And since hashtags are the most widely used there, it's probably the most relevant data about that. But there are other places to find data. However, some of them cost money, and you have some tools for finding hashtags, for talking about, learning about hashtags. What are you recommending?
Right. So, well, first of all, I would say create a spreadsheet and start capturing some of this information, because it's one thing to see it in that feed and you're documenting it, but if you're really thinking about it proactively, you're writing these down and saying, okay, I know that these are my heavy competition ones, and start building a place where you can go to and easily copy and paste. So you're not doing this from scratch every time.
Yep. Cool.
There we go.
Exactly.
I'm very large right now. So I use quite a few different tools for researching the hashtags. So if we start, Hashtagify is one of the most common ones that people go to, although they are requiring that you sign up now. So that one is effective. It shows you a word cluster. So it will give you other things that people are searching for at the same time and kind of show it in a visual way of the bigger competitive ones or more popularly used hashtags. But I really like hashtags for likes, which is it still is pretty easy to use, and they're not requiring a lot of login information. But again, you have to buy it down the road when you are ready to, but it will show you any, and I don't know if you want to share your screen on any of these, Laura, but
hashtag for likes.com.
This one, hashtagsforlikes.co. And yes, I know. So what I love about this is that let me see if I can get it to show. Yep.
I've got
it. So
it.
it's showing profiles that are using it, and really, I don't know if it's going to do it for you. Oh, it says unavailable right now on mine.
What's unavailable?
It says the whole server is unavailable at the moment. That's lovely. I just sent too many people to hashtagforlikes.co.
Well, I see it on my screen here.
Yeah, so go ahead and type in a hashtag and do a search.
Okay, so like
And
fitness or something?
yeah, any of them. And it said to me that it was unavailable. Oh, no, it worked for you. Okay. So you can actually look at the tag and start like, yep, scroll down and it's going to show you. You might now they're requiring the upgrade too.
But
But
you
they
can see
show
it
you
here.
so much. Yeah, they give you so many ideas. And if you can actually store it away. I think you don't have to have a high paid one. You can actually just start with the free one and then you'll get to see more and more of the stats. But for me, it's so important to see we don't know what we don't know. When we're looking for a hashtag, we just don't know what to expect. But you can see like fitness model, fitness motivation, like it just really expanded my idea of what hashtags are out there in this program.
Cool.
So that one was good. I know that you had shown display purposes. You and I were looking at it earlier. That one's a really good one too. Yes. And this one is the cool part about this one is that you can look up someone else's profile and see what hashtags they're using. So if
So
you have an
I
influencer
did
that you
Oprah. So, oh, here you can do it down here.
yes, so you just put in their profile and then it scans it. If it's you, that's one thing, right? But if you're looking at somebody else's profile because you think they're doing a really good job with hashtags, you can kind of get an idea of what you could be using that might get their attention too. So, influencer, I think that it's really important to build relationships and not like Instagram pods. I don't know if you've heard about those, Laura, but
Yeah.
they're yeah. So, but building relationships with people who are like-minded that can be equally sharing.
Hmm.
Social Buzz Club is a great way to do that instead. Like,
Yeah.
but
Oh, if we put it here. Cool. I just thought, oh, that's
yeah,
interesting.
so it literally collects the data for a
Ooh,
period
look
of
at
time. So it gives you quite a bit of information on that person, like how to get what exactly they're doing, what type of content they're posting. So for me, knowing what competition is doing is one of the biggest things that you can be aware of.
Oh, look at
And
that.
I know they
And
all do
boom,
this. They all do this. But this
pay me now.
yeah,
Okay.
this one is worth it for me. I have a free account with them, but I think this one is one of those that produces the results that you really need to know that shows you what your competitors are doing or influencers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
pretty much
thanks,
if you
Lou,
want
for
to do
the
good
love.
on
Sorry.
oh no, I was just saying if you want to do well with your hashtags, you there's obviously just going to Instagram and searching hashtags if you want the free version or Twitter. And now TikTok is probably the most effective use of hashtags. They're super they're they're making it very easy to get around TikTok with hashtags. They quite possibly could become more effective at hashtags than Instagram.
Pretty cool. Oh my gosh, there's so much we can do with hashtags for visibility. So start playing with it and start learning about it. They're just keywords. They're kind of like the social media's answer to Google's keywords, you know?
Yes.
So,
Oh,
uh,
and TikTok, the other question people asked was how many can you use? TikTok's limited to 100 characters. So you can use as many as you can fit into a 100-character description, but still have a description in it.
and then there's also InGrammer, right? There's another tool out there called InGrammer. I have it up
Oh,
too.
yes.
Let me put it on the screen. And by the way, I want to shout out to Sean Reed and Shirley Rose and Lou Bortone. Thanks for being here, and Diraj. It's just great to have you guys tune in. And I have a special announcement at the end of this live stream for you all about hashtags and getting more information. So Instagram hashtag generator. This is really cool. Have you used this?
Well, I just because of what we found recently. So,
This
yes.
is great. So this is another where you can generate by keyword, by photo. Oh, you can put in a photo here too, huh?
Oh, that was like the social platform that we were using that was showing us based on what's in the picture, right? Sunflowers, it give us the hashtag sunflowers.
So and generate by URL. So if you put in a URL of something, and that could even be, it looks like you can even use an Instagram URL and find out what hashtags people are using. What? That's so cool. I am going to try that. I'm not going to do it right here because I haven't prepared it, but I think that is cool. You guys try it, ingrammar.com. That's cool. What else do we have?
We have, well, Keyhole
Oh,
is,
yes.
yes. So Keyhole is very, again, all of these pretty much want you to pay, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But this one's tracking, right?
This
So
one's
our biggest
analytics. Yeah.
question, our biggest question was how can you see how your hashtags are doing, or if you're getting any sort of ROI? So this is the tracking that could show that.
Yes, and we have no idea how much it costs because you have to get a demo before doing it. You have to start your free trial, and then they maybe, because their pricing tab isn't working. So Keyhole people, when you click this, you just get this really cool little 401 error page, but that you can't tell is a 401 error, but it basically says, we don't have any pricing. Sorry, that page wasn't found. It's free.
And
No,
it's free.
we wish, right?
Right. But I think if there's programs, I know Hootsuite can track some of the, not necessarily clicks to a hashtag, but you can do a lot of research in Hootsuite or Agora Pulse as far as listening. But being able to track how effective those keywords are would be really helpful for most businesses.
Yeah. And we usually do the research for our clients, and we'll go and we'll look up the keywords and we'll put together batches of keywords, kind of like what you saw on display purposes, where you come up with a set of keywords. They're not, those gives us some good general direction, but then we go dive deeper and use some other tools to find the keywords, and then we have sets. Now, one thing you want to do or don't do with Instagram is use the same keyword set over and over and over again. That's like spam, okay? You want to make it relevant per post, right?
Exactly.
So sometimes you might use 10, sometimes you might use 20, sometimes you might use 4. Also, people are experimenting, and this has been going on for a while, so it's not new, but with doing the hashtags in the very first comment. Leave it out of the post and do it in the very first comment. Mix it up, because then it looks more authentic. If you do the same thing over and over again, it looks more spammy. So those are my last tips. If you'd like a complimentary online marketing strategy to find out where the leaks are in your marketing and to devise a plan of how we can help you, please schedule a call with me. And actually, I meant to say a different URL, but you can use that one. But I have one called Yes, Coach Laura. That is the best one to use. So there you go. Yes, Coach Laura. But I do have a special opportunity for you all coming up. I was a guest on a summit that is coming. I am a guest on a summit that's coming up, and it's at hashtag summit, bit.ly/hashtag summit. And that is coming up in October, early October, and it's way beyond hashtags. But the focus starts with hashtags, and so I highly invite you to join it, because it's free if you attend it live, and it's like over 4 days, and it's got all these amazing marketers on there training. So I'm training
I'll be there. I'll be watching.
Yeah, I'm actually training on Twitter, believe it or not. It's been a long time since I've trained on Twitter, but how to get more exposure on Twitter, and using actually Social Buzz Club to do that. So, and I'll be talking about other strategies too there with hashtags and other tools. So I think that's it. Any last words on hashtags?
Good. You try them out, experiment, and see what works for you.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your results. Feel free to add your thoughts here about what you love about hashtags and what results you've had or frustrations you had, because we can always address that on a future episode of our Tips Tuesday. It's always great to be with you, Tess, and thank you everyone for watching and the love. We'll be back again real soon, next Tuesday.
Thank you, guys.